A shock therapy episode. It's a shock therapy episode. Are we ready for the shock therapy? Hi, I'm Torin, and welcome to Torin Loves The Simpsons. Today, we are looking at Season 1, Episode 4, There's No Disgrace Like Home. An episode where Homer is freaked out about the family's image or something. I don't know, man. Let's get into it. Let's start with the humor. We get an okay Act 1, with a couple nice moments. Marge at the picnic with her drunken rambling about her family and how, if it's not true greatness we have, we're at least average, gets a B-. And Marge is dancing as the family is walking to the car after the picnic gets a B+. I literally never noticed it before rewatching to write the script. I think they also did a really great job of accurately depicting drunk behavior. I really like this quick visual moment and Marge continuing to applaud after the crowd stopped. I'll overall give Marge's drunkenness a B for what it brings to the humor. And that's pretty much it for this episode being funny. The rest of the episode is boring. The shock therapy scene is memorable, yes, but really not very funny. I think it would land better without the cutaway to Burns and Smithers because I feel like the cutaway just kills the pacing. It comes right when the scene is starting to potentially become an obnoxiously long setup joke, which is a type of joke I greatly enjoy, and it takes all the momentum the scene has built up as an almost obnoxiously long setup and just throws it away, and I don't find it funny in the end. I say the length of your joke setup doesn't go too far enough. The cutaway brings the scene down to a C+ for me, because it totally could have been a B or so if they leaned into the obnoxiously long setup a little harder and came up with a good punchline. It's not like what's actually going on in the room is funny, they're literally just shocking each other, so it needs a device such as an obnoxiously long setup to really work as a joke. It's also funny how, the one time they go for a cutaway during Season 1, they botch it. I don't know if this is literally the only cutaway during the season, but it's characteristic of the early seasons to stay more focused on what's happening in one place at a time, whereas later seasons will bounce all over the place when it makes for a good joke. There are a few other moments I could give a C+ to, like the cops ignoring their dog flagging Homer, and Homer going on drawing random stuff during the Dr. Monroe segment, but really not much else stands out in a positive way until the ending, which I'll get to in a minute. I really don't like the Act 2 ending, and I am giving it a D+. Homer's line isn't funny, and that one-liner then quick music moment format for an act ending just feels so dated. This whole episode feels pretty severely disjointed from the rest of the series. I get the feeling this was one of the very first episodes written, but that Act 2 ending is the worst of it for sure. It does not feel like The Simpsons. It's funny that the episode was written by Al Jean and Mike Reiss, who would go on to co-showrun seasons 3 and 4, seasons that were extremely transformative, where the show really starts to feel fleshed out and established and very much like The Simpsons. And Jean has been the sole showrunner since season 13. But again, I would certainly guess this was an extremely early episode off the writing board. And in case you missed the Simpsons roasting on an open fire video, the season aired all out of order due to animation issues, so the episode order we experience as the viewer doesn't match the order they were produced. I'm not sure how I feel about the ending where the money they get as a refund from Dr. Monroe brings the family together. Sometimes I find it funny, and sometimes I just find it boring. In fact, on one watch-through I did of the episode a while back, I had given the joke an A-, but I haven't felt the same way the last couple times I've watched through the episode. At the very least, I do like that they've already gotten one thing nailed down about the Simpson family. They really, really love TV. I'll give it a B- for that. Overall, the humor is honestly just not there. We have a few nice moments here and there, but a real dud in that Act 2 ending, and a ton of space with no jokes or anything interesting going on. The humor in the episode gets a C-. Okay, so the humor in this episode isn't so great. Does the plot make up for it? Nah. The plot doesn't do anything interesting or have any kind of noteworthy message. It's literally just that Homer thinks his family sucks, and that's the episode. I guess the picnic segment does help establish Burns as a massive egotist who's susceptible to sycophancy, and that's a character flaw that will absolutely come up more later, so that's kind of cool, I guess, but it's not enough to make this an interesting plot. Back to the topic of feeling disjointed from the rest of the series, the characterizations of Homer and Marge are flipped in a lot of ways. Marge gets drunk at the company picnic instead of Homer. Homer's the one concerned with the family's image instead of Marge. Marge is the one scarfing a microwave dinner in front of the TV with the kids instead of Homer. Homer's the one willing to pawn the TV, and Marge is the one who pleads with him not to. All of this is so backwards, yet another reason why I figured this one was a super early write. All in all, this plot says and does so little, and it feels so out of tune with the rest of the series that I'm giving it a D. Animation is better than Homer's Odyssey, though we have White Lou for the time being. He was white through the rest of Season 1, then they made him black starting in Season 2. And black-haired Moe. I guess now for the final rating. We have a C- for humor, and a D for plot. While I'd certainly consider this episode more sitcom than drama, unlike the last couple episodes, it's not enough to lean on the humor enough to stay out of D tier. This episode gets a D+. Remember when I said last week that I didn't know if Homer's Odyssey was my least favorite episode of the season? Yeah, no, that was a lie. I really don't like this episode. I guess now the question is whether or not this is my least favorite of the season. And I know I just admitted I lied to you last week, but this time I actually mean it that I don't know the answer to that question. And we won't find out the answer until the end of the season, because I actually haven't watched Some Enchanted Evening nearly enough to have much of an opinion on it yet. It's the only episode on disc 3 of my DVD set, and that disc got scratched soon after I got the DVDs, so I basically never watched that episode as a kid. So I guess you'll just have to keep watching to find out with me. And on that note, thank you for watching. I'm always curious to hear what you think of the episode, so leave your opinions in the comments. Someone explain to me why the shock therapy scene is funny, because I don't get it. And don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell for notifications. Up next, we have Bart the General, and I will see you in that video.